Hare Krishna, Dhanavat Pranams to all the devotees assembled here.
Rajnath Prabhu, make Asha Mataji as co-host.
Okay, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavat Pranams to all the assembled devotees. So welcome all of you for the today's Bhagavatam class. The topic is Canto 1, Chapter 12, Shloka 23. So before we start, let's have a small kirtan. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Vrajaja Ranjana Yashodanandana Rajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Yamuna Tiravanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. With all your permission, I would like to start today's Bhagavatam class. Whatever I heard from the senior Vaishnavas, I would like to repeat only because of my purification. Let's see. Canto 1, Chapter 12, Shloka 23. Pitamaha Samasami Prasade Girishopamaha Pitamaha Samasami Prasade Girishopamaha Ashraya Sarvabhutanam Ashrayaha Sarvabhutanam Yatha Devo Ramashrayah Yatha Devo Ramashrayah Pitamaha Samasami Prasade Girishopamaha Ashrayah Sarvabhutanam Yatha Devo Ramashrayah. Hare Krishna. So, meaning and purport by Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajacacharya Ashtottara Shata Srimad Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nitya Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Let's see the Anuvada or translation by our Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. This child will be like his grandfather Yudhishthira or Brahma in equanimity of mind. He will be munificent like the Lord of the Kailasa Hill, Shiva. And he will be the resort of everyone, like the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, who is even the shelter of the goddesses of fortune. So, Kannadadalli ondsali Anuvada, I'll just repeat. ಈ ಮಗುವು ಚಿತ್ತ ಸ್ಥೈರ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ತಾತ ಯುಧಿಷ್ಠಿರನಂತೆ ಮತ್ತು ಬ್ರಹ್ಮನಂತೆ ಆಗುವನು, ಕೈಲಾಸ ಪರ್ವತೇಶ್ವರನಾದ ಶಿವನಂತೆ ಉದಾರಿಯಾಗುವನು ಮತ್ತು ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀದೇವಿಗೂ ಆಶ್ರಯದಾತನಾದ ದೇವೋತ್ತಮ ಪರಮಪುರುಷ ನಾರಾಯಣನಂತೆ ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಬ್ಬನಿಗೂ ಆಶ್ರಯದಾತನಾಗುವನು. ಹರೇ ಕೃಷ್ಣ. Thank you, Prabhu, for sharing. So, in this shloka, so we can understand that there is a complete description of Maharaja Parikshit and his great qualities. So here it is said in 3 paragraphs. Let us understand the shloka by 3 paragraphs. The first paragraph talks about the equanimity of a mind. So who has this quality? Parikshit Maharaj, because this is the description of Maharaj Parikshit. Then the second paragraph talks about the manifest like Lord Shiva, or the generosity like a Shiva. Then the third paragraph talks about the resort of everyone. So that is like a Lord Vishnu, Supreme Personality of Godhead. Let us understand paragraph by paragraph. So once we read this, when we read this translation, we feel like, oh, fine. So this qualities is given to Parikshit Maharaj. Then what about us? Isn't it? Don't you think? Yes, these are the qualities he is going to have uh, by the Parikshit Maharaj, because he is an exalted devotee, right? And also he is a great ruler. We call it as a Chakravarti. He is not just a king. He is a great ruler of the whole world, right? So he must possess all these qualities. But the Baddhatmas, the Baddha Jivas like us, we think, then why for us? Then what for us, right? So definitely the question comes, these qualities are necessary even for us, because Prabhupada says all of us also like an Ishvara, like a tiny, tiny Ishvara. But the exalted devotees like Kunti Devi, Parikshit Maharaj, many more acharyas, they all have a great spare of influence of Ishvara. But for us, we are the part and parcel of Lord, right? So we have also a qualities, but everything in a limited quantity. So why we have all these qualities are in very limited? Because to put our intelligence and to complete the purpose of the life. So let us understand here. Generally, we say Supreme Personality, the Parama Ishvara. So who is a Parama Ishvara? Means who is a controller of all of us? That is a Lord Krishna. So here, Parikshit Maharaj is in the stage of mental equanimity. So what is that? What is the meaning of? Here they say Pitamaha Sama Samye. So what is the meaning of Sama Samye? Means Manasika Samatolana. So this Manasika Samatolana is very important. Let us understand what is that Manasika Samatolana. So Manasika Samatolana means they don't have any envy on anybody. So here, what we think, if somebody is favor to us, we were very fond of them. Somebody is not favor to us, somebody may commented, criticize somewhere, then we think that, oh, then we try to show our grudge into them, right? So the person who is in equanimity, like Mahatma and Pandita, they all are unpredictable, means their actions are unpredictable. The people like us, like me especially, we are predictable. So we know that if somebody chastises Asha Mataji, what happens? What could be our reactions? Anybody can predict, right? But this is not going to happen for the real exalted devotees. They're unpredictable. Say, for example, once Prabhupada was giving a lecture in America. In the open public hall, one person stood up and he was literally chastising Prabhupada, was giving a very bad criticism on his talks, right? But Prabhupada did not, responded back to him. Like he did not bounce back to him the way he chastises. He was just calm and he was completely maintained his gesture and he smiled, and after this class he went off. He completely ignored the person, right? So even many times we have observed in our Guru Maharaj and all our acharyas and the people who are very learned scholars, they also do this. They tolerate, right? So there is a one shloka in Bhagavad Gita 5.18 says, Vidya Vinaya Sampanne Brahmane Gavi Hastini Suni Chaiva Swapachena Pandita Samadarshanaha. So the Panditas, the Mahatmas will learn the Brahmanas that those who are in that transcendental stage, they always see everything equally, irrespective of their spiritual sadhanas, irrespective of their karma, irrespective of their behavior and attitude, whatever they are, for them, everybody are same because they see Krishna in their heart, right? So this is the quality of being a equanimity. So here Parikshit Maharaj has under this equality. So here in the first line itself, we can see Pitamaha Sama Samhe. So what is Pitamaha? Who is Pitamaha for Parikshit Maharaj? Everybody knows Yudhishthira Maharaj, isn't it? Yudhishthira Maharaj. So Yudhishthira Maharaj is also an example. Like when any child born, we say, oh, he's like his father, he's like his grandfather, right? We generally refer this. So here it is the reference. So grandfather Yudhishthira. Okay, fine. But here it says our Brahma. Brahma is a great grandfather for all of us because we know that Brahma has come from the Vishnu and Brahma is the creator of all the living entities. So both of them is a great example for a mental equality. So let us understand what is given in the first paragraph. So mental equanimity refers both this Yudhishthira and Maharaja because you know what we say for Maharaj Yudist. Maharaj Yudist is called an Ajata Shatru. Ajata Shatru, nothing but he does not have any enemy, but we can say because he fought in the great war, that is Kurukshetra. And Kurukshetra, there is a lot of Akshoini Sainyas are fighting against Pandavas and Maharaj Yudhishthira is there. Then how can we say that Yudhishthira is a Ajata Shatru? See, for him, nobody is enemy. For others, maybe he is an enemy, but Yudhishthira does not have any envious on anybody. He is not considered anybody as his envy. Because here Prabhupada says, according to Vishwanatha Chakravarti, grandfather is Maharaj Yudhishthira. Then, according to Sridhara Swami, grandfather is Brahma. So let us understand, because why both the Acharyas are given the example of Brahma and Yudhishthira? Because both of them are recognized representative of the Supreme Lord. So both have maintained the mental equanimity because they are being engaged in the welfare work of the living beings. So they have certain duties to maintain and to give their best to the living entities, and they are responsible executive agent of the top of the administrative. So they have to tolerate the different types of onslaught from every person for whom he works. So one example here, Prabhupada is mentioned that Brahmaji was criticized by the great exalted devotees of Raja called Gopis, right? So the highest perfectional devotees of the Lord is criticizing Brahmaji. Then think about us, how much we criticize, we think from the Supreme Personality of the Lord till our servant, isn't it? So we never, keep quiet if something goes wrong or something goes against our will. We started chastising everybody. But here is something different. Gopis were dissatisfied with the work of the Brahma. So what is that? Because gopis are so engaged in the service of the Lord, they think that why this Lord Brahma has given, the Supreme Creator has given, this eyelids. So because of this eyelids, it is distracted to see Lord Krishna. Every time it will blink. That one moment we can't see the Krishna. They could not tolerate that moment of blinking of the eyes. Then that is in something different. That is all like a transcendental plane. So they are doing it not out of the enemy, but what we are doing, most of us will be because of the envy. We try to blame the person, blame the people, those who are around us. Then one thing we need to be very important point we need to learn from this paragraph is not the thing is we think that we want to be a boss, we want to be a controller, because there is a tiny nature within us. The Ishvara Bhava is also within us. We think that we need to control. But the fact is, if we want to control something, and we know how this material works, this material energy works, whatever we feel, just opposite. So when we want to control somebody, for example, like husband always thinks I'm controlling my wife, and wives always think I'm controlling my husband, and all the children will think I'm controlling my parents, right? So here that controlling nature is natural. But how to get that controlling propensity? To control somebody, we need to, Prabhupada is mentioned, we need to be so humble or subordinate. When we are subordinate to somebody, then we are qualified to control somebody. And the Lord has made this word in such a way that there is somebody who is supreme, who is above than us and who is below than us. So we have, this equation is very nice. To understand this equation, so we have to spare that influence of control. So it means, like, if you want to be an Ishvara, like everybody wants to be an Ishvara, everybody wants to be an boss on a boss. But unfortunately, we have our, the duty is we have to be Dasanu, Dasanu, Dasa. This is what all our senior Vaishnavas says, right? So the lesson, what we learn from this paragraph is to advance in our spiritual life, we have to learn to be the subordinate. Now, wherever we see, even in material life or even in spiritual life, especially, we see those who are already there in the position of control, they all have undergone as a subordinate to somebody, right? So as a subordinate to somebody, then only they are qualified to, control somebody and to maintain somebody. So that's why here it says asamurdha. So in our spiritual organization like ours, so here also, if any person is in the high position, like a circle leader or the sector leader or the BV leader. So where it is, everybody has put into that position after testing by the guru, right? So, or his mentor. So how to be subordinate? To be a controller, as I told, we have to be a subordinate. To subordinate, in the sense, you have to be surrendered. So here, once we started being humble and surrender to somebody, like we have to serve all the senior Vaishnavas, we have to serve our Guru Maharaj, we have to serve our Parampara, our Acharya, then that humbleness will come. Then that will get into the mood of surrender. So then is the person is qualified, authentically he is qualified to take up some services. So leader, generally some people say, I want to be a boss, but they don't know the pain behind it. It means to become a boss, they have to listen a lot of criticize. As I told you, I give an example of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is a Paramaguru, but to come to that position, he has tolerated, even in spite of having his physical health, and at the age of 79 years, he can do miracle only because he tolerated. How much he tolerated the hippies? How much our Guru Maharaj is tolerating all of us, the people who has taken the shelter and initiated. Sometimes they may not be able to follow the Guru Vakyas, Vipuvani and Guru Vani. So this is how the mental equanimity comes. So it is easy to keep up, but it is very difficult. I mean, it's easy to become a leader or the controller, but it is very difficult to maintain it. So next, here we'll see Maharaj Yudistira. Maharaj Yudistira is also a great person who can give an example of mental equanimity, because he had to cross over many difficult situations created by his enemies. We know entirely what are the problems created by Pandavas in Mahabharata. But after that, he proved to be the most perfect maintainer of mental equanimity in all the critical circumstances. Therefore, the example of both the grandfather for maintaining the equanimity of mind is quite fitting in this purport. Okay, so next we'll move to the next paragraph, that is Lord Shiva. So Lord Shiva, as we know that he is called as an Ashutosh. The second point what we are learning is a manifested like a Lord Shiva. So he is a munificent. Munificent is a great generosity. He is a great generosity of what? Giving benediction. So here, why we say Shiva is a Ashutosh. Generally, we say Bhutana. Prabhupada mentioned him as a Bhutana, right? So why generally he gives a benediction just like that? So we can see a lot of examples in our Puranas, like Ravana. Ravana is also a best example. Ravana pleases Lord Shiva with all his tapas and all. So why? Because he gives very easily. What does that means? He gives without thinking the effect of it, whether it could be a bad effect or it could be a good effect. Whoever comes and approach, they can do a simple, pious activity, he will benedict. But in Purana it says, akamo sarvakamo moksha kamo udarahe tivrena bhakti yogena yajate purusha paraha. Means we should approach Lord Vishnu because more than the Lord Shiva. What's the difference between the benediction given by Lord Shiva and Lord Vishnu? And we'll understand why Shiva will grant the boon very easily than the Lord Vishnu. So here we know that whatever we pleased, whatever we request, Lord Shiva will give. Why he'll give it? What is the need? What is the reason behind it? The Lord Shiva engages his entire family, not only he, entire family with hearing the Krishna Katha. What he does in Kailasha, Parvat, he always busy in listening Harikatha, listening Krishna Katha. Not only by himself, he engaged all his sons and wife to hear Krishna Katha. And whoever asks in between, whoever goes and disturbs, he was like, what is this? It's just his duty. For the sake of doing his duty, he just gives a benediction. That's why he called us in Ashutosh, because he don't want any distraction in between when he listens the Krishna Katha. This is what mentioned in one of our senior Vaishnava when I heard the lecture. So here he gives the same way, he gives a benediction to Ravana, right? So he was very attached to Lord Shiva and very easily he pleases him. So Ravana becomes so powerful. He wanted to challenge the authority of a Lord Rama. But of course, then Lord Shiva knows where to cut down that power. Then Ravana was never helped by Lord Shiva when he fought with Rama, right? So the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the Lord Shiva has also given a benediction to demon Vrikasura. Vrikasura, see, he took some austerity, tapas. What is the reason behind it? The reason behind his tapas is to destroy everybody. Means whoever he touches, whoever he keep his hand to the head of the people, they will, what to say, they will destroy. That is what his desire. Okay. See, one thing we need to understand in the real sense, if three things people would like to work, whatever the duties we take up, we always think of three things. One is autonomy, another one is mastery and sense of purpose. So whatever we do, we need a complete freedom. If somebody is coming and poking in between whatever we are doing, they try to control, we don't like it. Another way, we want to be a mastery of doing something. Means whatever we do, we want somebody to come and appreciate us. And the third point is sense of purpose. So what are we doing? Simply we won't do. See, if you want to talk to somebody, it's out of our spiritual God brothers and sisters. Apart from that, we want some reason. If you are talking to somebody, if you are associating somebody, we always think there is any benefit. Without that benefit, we won't. But in spiritual, it's not like that. We just want to please the Vaishnavas. So that's why, irrespective of what benefit we get from them, we try to give our association and we try to take our association, right? So here, Vrikasara, he wants to win over the world. He wants to be a boss. He wants to be a complete controller. So then he prays to the Lord Shiva, and Lord Shiva gives the benediction. What is that benediction? Whoever he touches his head from hand, they will destroy. They will just die. Then he wants to see. Look at the character of a demon. He wants to try that. He wants to experiment that power by touching the head of the Lord Shiva itself. And as I just narrated this, one shloka. So there it says we have to, akroma sarvakamo, moksha kamo udarahe, tivrena bhakti yogena, yajete purusha paraha. So we have to approach the Lord Vishnu for finally, whatever the kama we want, whatever the desire. So here, Lord Shiva is the person who gives the, benediction to somebody, but he is finally asking the shelter of Lord Vishnu, because he is the ultimate approacher and giver of whatever we want, irrespective of material as well as spiritual. So now it's a time for Lord Shiva to run towards Lord Vishnu to save himself from the trouble. So then Lord Vishnu, by his illusory potency, he asked Brikasura to make an experiment with his own hand, because he was in that time when he approached, he was running behind. Who? Brikasura running behind Shiva. Shiva is running towards Vishnu. Then Vishnu saw what is this. Then Vishnu understood by the condition of Lord Shiva. Then Lord Vishnu, he is in the form of one small Brahmana. Then he said, you know what happened to this Shiva? Whatever the Shiva, because he got mad out of his father-in-law Daksha. So whatever he said, it's all fake. He's not giving, it's not, whatever the benediction he gives, it's not going to work. It's all fake. It's not powerful at all. You just try and see, it's not going to work. Why to worry? Why to so tension? Then anyhow, they are demigods. They are alpa buddhi. So they don't have any kind of intelligence. Then this Brikasura kept his hand to his head and he became complete destroyed. So this is how Lord protected. And we'll go to the next third part of this paragraph. But how do we connect with the Parikshit Maharaj? So Parikshit Maharaj is also a munificent, who is very generous, because example of Kali Maharaj. Kali tried to enter during his kingdom, during his era, in his kingdom, then Parikshit completely denied. So because Parikshit did not like the qualities of Kali, but when he pleaded, because I created with some purpose, then what is that? He has to do his duty. Then he is very generous and he is given certain areas to recite the Kali, right? So Parikshit Maharaj, and one more thing, to take an Ashraya, to be a munificent, he himself has taken a shelter from Lord Krishna. So we'll see in this third paragraph. The third paragraph says Rama. So that is Ramashraya, Ashraya Sarvabhutana, Yatha Devo, Ramashraya. Rama means goddesses of fortune. So as we know, the last aspect of this shloka, who takes the shelter under the Lord Krishna, so and his devotees and the devotees of Lord Vishnu can give a protection to others without any doubt. How can we execute this under the small sphere of influence? Parikshit protected by Krishna himself when he was in the womb of Uttara. So that is the reason he is able to protect others. So if we borrow somebody, like if you borrow 1,000 rupees to somebody, then we can spend 1,000 rupees without borrowing, or we don't have the money. We have, nowhere, we don't have any capacity to lend money or spend, right? So here, whatever the qualities we are pursuing, all these qualities from the Lord himself. So he is, and here, why the Rama? Rama is Swayam Lakshmi Devi, right? So Lakshmi Devi herself has taken the shelter of Lord Vishnu himself. So if we are taking a shelter of Lakshmi Devi without taking a shelter of Krishna, then it is nothing like a illusory or Maya. So Maya is a illusory energy, right? So travel the path of a false plan of economic development. Most of us will take a shelter of Lakshmi Devi, goddesses of fortune herself. But here Prabhupada says, if we do not know the goddesses of fortune, can live only under the protection of Vishnu. Without Vishnu, the gods of fortune is an illusion, is a Maya. So we should therefore seek the protection of Vishnu instead of directly seeking the protection of goddesses of fortune. Only Vishnu and the devotees of Vishnu can give a protection to all. And because Maharaj Parikshit was himself protected by Vishnu, it was quite possible for him to give a complete protection of all who wanted to live under his rule. So by this, I would like to end up this sharings. This is only for my purification. I know I have a lot of impurities. I know I have a lot of challenges. So kindly forgive me if I did committed any Vaishnava Aparadha or anything which is not in the Parampara, and kindly keep me in your prayer. And I am very grateful to my Shiksha leader and my circle leader, Matrapati Prabhu and Vijnath Prabhu, for supporting me and giving me this wonderful opportunity to serve you all today for only my purification. Thanks a lot for patiently listening, and thanks a lot. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaivacha patitanam bhavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.